and the world. Compiled in the News Talk Radio newsroom and powered by DemeraraWaves.com.
A very good morning to you. With the news at this time, I am Tiana Jordan. The news comes to you with the compliments of Eureka Medical Laboratories. To begin the news, here's a look at the leads. A former chief of staff of the Guyana Defense Force says the army had been misused. The Alliance for Change is heaping scorn on the government's proposed hemp production on some sugar estate lands. In regional news, the British Virgin Islands is buying mobile incinerators to deal with the garbage crisis there. For the international news, we'll bring to you the latest news bulletin from the BBC World Service. The details of these and other stories will be coming up in just a moment.
A COVID-19 PCR test is now mandatory for many routine activities, including travel and return to work purposes. At Eureka, our trained and experienced staff will ensure confidentiality while your test is conducted in a professional and timely manner with results in just 48 hours. So the next time you require an efficient and hassle-free PCR COVID-19 test, call 624-8378, 608-8378, or 623-7233 to schedule your appointment. You can also ask about our house call testing service.
And now the news in detail. Former Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, GDF, retired Brigadier Mark Phillips, said this country's military had been misused in the past. He was last week delivering remarks at a forum to celebrate the life of the People's Progressive Party's founder leader, Dr. Chedi Jagan. The Prime Minister reflected on the use of GDF soldiers during general elections.
The GDF was involved in the 68th election, and the GDF was again deployed and involved in the Center 3 elections. And you know the famous case where we had three supporters of the PPP that died, and there's an interesting inquiry done by Justice Dan Japan, right, known as the Dan Japan report. And I think if you can put your hand on that report, just try to read it, and you'll understand how, in my opinion, the GDF was misused.
GDF soldiers had in the past been used to allegedly move ballot boxes to the Army headquarters at Camp Ayangana instead of Queen's College, where the votes should have been counted. In 1973, 3 PPP soldiers were killed while trying to prevent soldiers from removing ballot boxes from a polling place in Berbice. The Alliance for Change AFC is criticizing plans by the government to get into the cultivation of hemp. Vice President Bharat Jagdeo earlier this month told sugar industry workers in Berbice that the level of sugar production will be reduced and the lands will be used to cultivate hemp and produce special shrimps for export. But AFC leader Kemraj Ramjatan says the focus should be on food production.
Because of the stupidity of their agricultural policy, you're going to get hemp instead of plantains and pumpkins and pineapple and prawns.
Mr. Ramjatan believes that there is a wider plan by the government to sell out the already developed sugar estate lands to rich friends of the People's Progressive Party to plant hemp.
They want to come to take those prize lands that is already infrastructured with drainage and irrigation canals and dams and beautiful roads and all of that. Them go buy that for a penny, and our people will not get to plant food. They go get plant hemp. Cane cutters and all of them inside of them, the strong support areas got punished because they're not going to get land to plant food. It's food we got to do here in the coast. If you are a big investor and you want to go into hemp, take 30,000 acre, 40,000 acre in the intermediate Samara, go and create your land, your drainage and irrigation, your dams, your roads, your whatever, and you plant your hemp, man.
AFC leader Kemar Ramjatan speaking on his party's weekly program, AFC on the Move. A businessman in Bartica has been killed in a road accident in that gold mining town. Dead is 54-year-old Premnath Basad, also known as Greensman. The accident occurred Saturday night on 1st Avenue, Bartica. Police say he was struck down by a motorcycle that was being driven by Eric David, a 19-year-old gold miner. Investigators were told that the motorcycle was going at a fast rate of speed when it struck down Passad. The pillion rider, 19-year-old Fabian Stanford, and David were treated and sent away. David has since been arrested. And now for news in the region. Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown is railing against those who waste water in that twin island nation. He says people have been wasting water on landscaping, washing vehicles, bathing, and washing dishes. Mr. Brown says eventually water rates will be increased.
Now, I am of the firm view, and obviously we're not going to do it anytime soon, certainly not before the next general elections, but I'm of the firm view that sometime in the near future, that water rates have to be increased, have a threshold to protect the poor and vulnerable, but above and beyond certain consumption, to charge people a higher rate because the water is so cheap they're wasting it. The only way to control the usage or the profligate use of water in this country is to set the water rates, not to make it unreasonably high, but to set it in such a way that if you use water profligately, then you have to pay for it.
The Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister says people there should also collect rainwater.
In fact, some people too behave so helpless, they didn't want to catch the water when it drizzles. Because you see, sometimes you may get a light shower of rain. It will be sufficient to fill a few drums, but it's not sufficient to put water in Potworks Dam. It's not sufficient to refill the aquifers in order to supply water through the main distribution system. But people can help themselves by harvesting water, by having drums. The irony about it, every home in this country has a garbage drum, but not every home has a water drum. So again, let us show some empathy and let us also try to resolve the issue by conserving water and also doing some water harvesting to some extent. So even when we have light showers, we can get water in our cisterns or whatever catchment we may have at home.
Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown. In the British Virgin Islands, the government will soon purchase mobile incinerators to help tackle the waste problem in the territory. Health Minister Carvin Malone suggested that the government cannot afford to repair the existing mobile incinerator. BVI News reports that Malone said the request for proposals for the mobile incinerators will soon be released and the person who wins the contract would be able to do their work on Tortola. He says eventually the other incinerators will be required for Virgin Gorda, Anegada, and if necessary, Jost van Dyke, so the problem can be permanently fixed. BPTT has suffered another major setback as its long-awaited Cassius C project has been further delayed and will not come on stream until the end of the year. Cassius C is expected to deliver over 250 million standard cubic feet of low-pressure natural gas and is now to be delayed by more than a year, according to highly placed sources at the company. In an emailed response, BPTT confirmed the further project delay, saying COVID-19 was responsible for its inability to deliver the natural gas on time. BPTT told the Business Guardian that the hookup and commissioning phase of the Cassius C project is continuing and first gas is expected in the second half of the year. The company says the project was initially planned to come online in 2021, but delivery was pushed to 2022 due to the impact of COVID-19. The company's failure to deliver on its Cassia Sea project and its failed infill drilling program have significantly hurt the country's natural gas production and government revenue. It has also negatively impacted everything from liquid natural gas, LNG output, to the gas available to the petrochemical sector. The lack of natural gas from BPTT has also been the cause of the decision to shut the Train 1 LNG plant, as the National Gas Company Limited, NGC, wasted more than $250 million behind Train 1, hoping it would have access to more gas that was not forthcoming. Dropping the word fish from the Oistins Festival was not done to hurt vendors and other indigenous stakeholders. That's according to the chairman of the Oistins Festival Organizing Committee, Tony Thorne. Barbados Nation reports that she says that rather the rebrand was done to include more people and help the privately run festival become more viable. Thorne was speaking at Oistins Bay during the official start of the festival after a 2-year absence because of the COVID-19 pandemic. She was responding to a recent article where vendors urged the organizers to put the fish back in the festival. In 1977, the Oistins Fish Festival, began following the inspiration and ideas of Stella Lady St. John, wife of former Prime Minister Sir Harold St. John and a parliamentary representative of the area. The news was brought to you with the compliments of Eureka Medical Laboratories.
Don't let the fear of contracting the coronavirus disease deter you from seeking the medical care you need. At Eureka Labs, we ensure the safety of our clients and staff with our rigid sanitization routine. This involves the use of ultraviolet lights to effectively rid the air and all surfaces of viruses and bacteria that may be present throughout the lab daily. The light works to rapidly inactivate microorganisms through a physical process that is invisible to human eye. So the next time you need a checkup, don't hesitate to give us a call on 225-7574 to schedule your appointment.
To end the news, here is a recap of the leads. A former chief of staff of the Guyana Defense Force says the army had been misused. The Alliance for Change is heaping scorn on the government's proposed hemp production on sugar estate lands. In regional news, the British Virgin Islands is buying mobile incinerators to deal with the garbage crisis there. And that's the end of the news.
This has been the news, compiled in the News Talk Radio Newsroom. For ongoing updates, visit demerarawaves.com, and you can check facebook.com/demwaves and twitter.com/demwaves.